Good morning. Welcome to Business Morning on Channels Television. It's time to do some business now in between those very hot conversations. I'm Ini John McCall. We start as usual from the global space. Oil prices rose on Friday, continuing upwards trend on signs of improving economy in China and as negotiations to halt hostilities in the standoff between Israel and Hamas yielded no results. Threats to supply raises prices. That's why we see that we have some green right there, 0.4%. This is the second time we're having a 0.4% increase this week as we see Brent for the first time this week hitting $84.24 a barrel. WTI of the United States is still hanging around 79.64, and that's up 0.5%. In the previous session, oil prices had edged up to a one-week high on data of rising crude oil imports in China and in April as investors saw the cooling of U.S. job market as an indication of possible interest rate cuts. It's supposed to be about start by September from expectations. Well, China's exports and imports returned to growth in April after contracting in the previous month, and that signals an improvement in demand. And we know China has a stronghold on oil demand globally. And then also in the US, there's considerable uncertainty about where inflation will head in coming months. San Francisco Federal Reserve President Mary Daly had said and adds that she still has faith that price pressures are continuing to ease. Now, on the other hand, another factor driving it is Israeli forces. They bombarded areas of Rafah yesterday, Thursday. Palestinian residents confirmed this. And the Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, has dismissed U.S. President Joe Biden's threat to withhold weapons. We saw that yesterday from Israel if it assaults southern Gaza. So it seems Israel is ready and determined to follow through with this, which is not good for the world at all anyways. Now we come to Nigeria and talk about the Naira. It's still the same trend, the negative trend, depreciation. That's what we've been seeing. On NAFEM yesterday, the Naira opened at 1,421 Naira 6 kobo, but closed at 1,459 Naira 73 kobo. That's almost 3% drop in the value of the Naira, unfortunately. For NAFEX, where we have less activities, we saw it close at 1,226 Naira 62 kobo after it opened at 1,419 Naira 40 kobo. We didn't see this coming, did we? We had thought that by now at least we'd be doing 1,002. But unfortunately, it's been depreciation all the way. A bit of good news, I think, even though it's marginal, Nigeria's reserve went up marginally, gained about $262 million in 19 days. That witnessed that marginal resurgence, and that happened within 90 days. The Central Bank of Nigeria's latest figures reveal that with reserve inching up to is now at $32.36 billion, and that's as of May the 7th, from a one-month dip of 32.107 billion. The reserve experienced a steady decline. That's been the news, 34.45 billion from March 18th, largely because of that interplay of dwindling oil prices. Now we see oil prices are being boosted, but of course, the normal thing is we don't see it reflecting in our reserve because these prices, okay, the prices we had are their features, they're for at least a month. This is for June features, so you don't expect it to reflect immediately in our reserve. Apart from that, are we meeting up even with our production quota for us to expect that? So these are the issues when we discuss Nigeria. Another major issue in the country at this time is reactions. Of course, Nigerians have continued to talk and are continuing to talk. Yesterday, the lawmakers talked about this. That central bank's directive to deposit money banks on charging cybersecurity levy on electronic transactions. A lot of interpretations. Who is supposed to implement it? Who is supposed to be charged? Is the charge supposed to be on the value of what is being transacted? Is it supposed to be on the charges? A lot of clarification needed. But the latest is from the Nigerian Economic Summit Group. They believe that the cybersecurity levy needs to be reconsidered, especially when you look at the timing and some of the macroeconomic indices at this time. They talk about the cost of living and rising inflation. They say it is mistimed, and the NESG also points to the cybersecurity levy that it adds to the list of levies and taxes collected by financial institutions. We did have a list of that, showed you at least 10 of it. That's if we have not even missed out some. And they suggest, that's the NESG, suggests that bank transaction costs should be reduced and signal clarity to improve trust in the financial system and to entice more people to be financially included. We're talking about financial inclusivity in Nigeria. We see the numbers, I think about 70% and all of that. I'm talking about the financial institutions. The fintechs have been in the news recently. They've been having a lot of meetings with the Central Bank of Nigeria. I know somebody who had to do one of that now. He's the managing director of PAMPay. He's Mr. Chika Nwosu, the managing director of PAMPay. Mr. Nwosu, we're supposed to have, good morning,
good
first
morning.
of all. We're supposed to have this conversation, I think, about a week ago.
Yeah.
But, you know, powers beyond all of us took you away from us. But thank God we're able to make it. But tell us, how's it been? The fintechs have been in the news in recent times. You've been having a lot of meetings with the regulator. You have this the cryptocurrency issue. You have the one with the POS. We heard you signed. That's the fintechs and all of that. So tell us about some of this interaction and why are you guys getting this attention? When a child is naughty, they get a lot of attention. What's been going on?
No, actually, there is nothing to be afraid of, and there is no issues. What happened in the recent time, if you notice that fintech in Nigeria has grown so big within a very short period of time. And what the government regulators are trying to do, this thing that is growing this way, the best thing to do is to get it right at this point, so that as it is growing, it will be for the benefit for the fintech, for the government, and also for the people of Nigeria. So we have had several meetings with different stakeholders. We have with NSL, we have EFCC, so we're talking with Central Bank. Within ourselves, within the fintech ecosystem, we have also been talking. So to be very honest with you, there is no issues. All things that are happening is just to make fintech in Nigeria to be better and to offer more better services for the people. It's for the good of the fintech anyway.
And it's still a relatively new terrain for Nigeria, talking about digital banking. Nigerians are used to, I know a physical address. I know you do have offices, but I mean, it's not for the banking activities. The banking is actually supposed to be done on devices and all of that. So you still have a way to go in winning the trust of Nigerians. So whenever there's any news that has to do with any, like now, no more onboarding of new customers. I learned some people have withdrawn their funds. What's with that no more onboarding? Tell us the real picture.
Actually, when the news came, when
clarify for us first.
Okay.
No, at this time, no more onboarding of new customers for fintechs until when? Until we see what?
Okay, actually, it is like this. After the meeting with NSA, so we agreed on some gray areas that we need to put in place. So if PAMPay completes their own today, we start onboarding today. So there is nothing, there's no limitations. Whenever you completed your fixing what they want us to fix, continue with your onboarding.
Okay, but have some of the fintechs completed?
No, nobody has completed.
Nobody has completed. So as we speak, no fintech can onboard a new customer.
No fintech can onboard. But it doesn't affect our business. We are doing our business seamlessly. There's no issue with the business.
Yeah, and yesterday we had somebody speaking for the NDIC.
Okay.
You are also covered by the NDIC. That means
of course,
funds are
secured, no issues.
So if I wake up one day and I check my phone and I don't see your app,
there is no day you will not see our app. We have come to stay. We have come to stay.
Okay. Yeah. Also, there's been conversations of failed transactions, but I have to be honest, I haven't heard it from the fintech. It's mostly the deposit bank. So what's going on? Is there something wrong with the infrastructure? Because we have a common infrastructure in the country.
Actually, every institution has their own business strategy. They have their own infrastructure. For us, for the
transaction, it needs Nigeria interbank payment. Even for the fintech.
Even though it passes through NIFS, it also determines, maybe your son and my son is in the same school, they will not have the same results after exam. It depends on how you prepare in-house. there are different, every organization, every institution has their own structure, they have their own system. So for us, a majority of the fintech, we have the kind of a system we are using that makes transactions seamless from our own end. Yeah, for NIPS, for NIP, there is no issues on that side. So
Yeah, because I mean, there's been complaints of failed or delayed
I will not
transactions.
answer for the banks. I can only talk about PhonePe.
It's competition, so you know.
I can only talk about PhonePe. Yeah.
Okay, but how has it been like operating in Nigeria? The ease of doing business is a major one. Now you have this embargo. At least you cannot onboard for whatever the reasons and the requirement. It sends some kind of uncertainty, into the landscape. So how is it like, and what's the plan to solidify your stay in the economy?
Yeah, actually, that is actually what I said at the beginning of this discussion. Whatever that is happening now is actually for the good of the fintech. You talk about trust at the beginning. Initially, when we started our business newly in Nigeria, there was this issue of trust. There was a day someone was talking even behind me. Someone was telling someone about PoliticsToday. He said, "This PoliticsToday you are talking about, do you know who they are?" I just smiled. So that is the issue of trust. But I can tell you, in the last 1 year after the cashless policy, the trust has started growing. And I can tell you also that doing business in Nigeria for us in the fintech ecosystem is not that quite easy. But Nigeria is actually highly compliant when it comes to digital payment. People are also embracing it even more than you can even anticipate. There are so many people you think that wouldn't want to do digital transaction, use our app. Many of them are using it. They use it to pay their bills. They use it to even to do money transfers to their family member because it's very easy, it's very, very seamless. Do so many other things you can do with it. So
yeah, but this cybersecurity levy is going to discourage some of your transactions.
Well, for the cyber security levies, for now, a lot of discussion are still around it. A lot of people are also trying to have discussion with Central Bank. And you can see even that yesterday, it's the National Assembly, House of Reps also coming up with something. And our own fintech network will also doing something, trying to give also some suggestions to Central Bank about the cyber security levies. For now, I don't think we don't have much to say about it. Yeah.
So the association
is
still keeping it under wrap.
Everything is still
Maybe we'll get your association president to come and tell us.
Because
everybody is talking about it, and it's going to directly impact your business because you are doing. Your electronic transaction.
Exactly. Definitely, it will impact on our business. But let us see how it goes. Yeah.
All right. So also there's the path to 1 million digital jobs.
Yeah.
Are you part of the plan of the president, or you came on your own? Are you part of this 1 million jobs?
No, yeah, we are. If you watch in the recent time, there's a lot of government have done a lot of things in terms of the digital economy. There's also this digital economy strategy, policy and strategy, and several other entrepreneurship skills, acquisition, development. So all these things also will lead to the path of creating more jobs for the youth and also for the people of Nigeria. Yeah, we also part of it.
Then how are fintechs contributing, apart from you just doing your business?
Okay.
For traditional banks now, deposit banks mostly, and even the microfinance bank, they have interaction with the real sector to try to create value, give loans and all of that. Do we see that from fintechs?
For us, we are the MMOs. That's the license we have. We don't give loans. But there are other things we are doing for the people. Like payments. You pay for your electricity bill, pay for your DSTV.
You're not paying for them, they're just using your platform.
That's what I'm saying. We create this system, we create this platform for people to pay. We are adding value to the people. Apart from that, even we also offering service now. People can save on our platform and get 20% interest. So we try to create this, support people with this, make them to save money. We also have, what do you call it again? Even our transfer. Money transfer, you put money in our platform, you can also transfer to people. There's so many other services we are, creating for people. We have our agency banking system, which we have in almost all the local government in Nigeria. So in order to support the financial inclusion of the government. So We have a lot of other things we are doing, but we don't give loan.
But you're contributing to the financial inclusion.
We are contributing seriously to the financial inclusion.
You have to pray about the cyber security levy, because that's a threat. Well, that's a major threat to your work.
Let's see how it goes, because I don't think that will be concluded until when they say we should start there. No problem. But if government can also do something not to implement it in a way that it will affect us, we'll also be happy about that.
Well, you have to talk and
we're already talking.
All right, Mr. Chikanwosu, the Managing Director of PAMPE, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Indeed. Thank you so much.
All right.
Good having you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.